But let's go ahead and get into the topic of the day. The topic of the day is this Maxx Crosby situation. We want to go with the timeline of Maxx Crosby. And it's really not too much of a timeline. There's really only been one thing that he said about the Detroit Lions. And then everyone else has just been blowing things out of proportion. And this is what people do on social media. Part of this is that people can't read. And I'm going to be honest with you. People can't read. And everybody just wants to rush in. And they're not focused on what they're reading. Let's look at the Cam Newton situation. Cam Newton said, I went to a locker room that was full of losers that didn't know how to win. Because he was talking about how he feels bad for first overall picks, because when you're a first overall pick, you know you're going to go to a bad situation. So he says, I went to a locker room that was full of losers that didn't know how to win. People on Twitter killing him. Oh, you was in that locker room too. No, he wasn't, because he said he went there. Because he's talking about being a first overall pick. He wasn't part of that locker room. So when he got to the locker room, what he saw was this. It would be the same thing as when Jordan said people who were doing drugs, smoking cigarettes, drinking beer in the locker room when he got there. Does that mean that Jordan was doing those things? No, this is what they were doing before he got there. Right? Jay Cruz, what up, though? Taylor made me. This says comprehension is a problem for a lot of folks. Yes, reading, my friends, is fundamental. So here we go with the reading situation. Maxx Crosby said in a podcast when he was asked if the Raiders were off the table, what team would you want to play for? So he entertained that by saying, well, if the Raiders were off the table, I would like to go to the Detroit Lions. Now, everybody lost their minds, right? What up, though, run the ball? Everybody lost their minds. They were like, Maxx Crosby. No, I wasn't ready. Oh, my God. All right, so this is what they were doing. They were like losing their minds. Maxx Crosby said he wants to come to the Detroit Lions. No. Oh, my God. Anyway, so this is what they were doing. And it was clearly, he said, if the Raiders were off the table. The host asked him the question, and then he repeated the question to let y'all know, to put emphasis on the fact that the Raiders must be off of the table. Since then, the Detroit Lions fans have been working with certainty that Maxx Crosby is available, and he's going to be available, because this didn't happen this year. No. This has been now the last 2 off seasons that we've been talking about Maxx Crosby to the Detroit Lions. Do I want Maxx Crosby in Detroit? Of course. Of course I do. Of course. But is he coming to Detroit? That's the thing that I don't know. Part of this timeline of overreaction is every time Maxx Crosby tweets about something in Detroit, everyone loses their mind, and the ones that follow him, because I don't follow him, the ones that follow him run to his Twitter and tell him, oh my God, come home. No. No. Okay. Anyway, if y'all don't know, that's Kevin Hart. Okay. So every time he tweets something about Detroit, it's a situation where he's coming to Detroit and he wants to be in Detroit. Oh my God, why would he be tweeting about it? Well, here's the thing. Maxx Crosby grew up in the greater Detroit area. Maxx Crosby grew up a Lions fan. There's a picture of him as a child wearing a Lions jersey because he's from Detroit or the greater Detroit area, right? Maxx Crosby went to Eastern Michigan University. He did that, right? So he's a Michigan kid. He's a Michigan kid. So when Maxx Crosby tweets about the Pistons, that's his team in basketball. If he tweets about the Tigers, that's his team in baseball because he's from Detroit or the greater Detroit area. If he tweets about the Detroit Red Wings, it's because it's his team. He is a person who is from Michigan. His team is a Michigan-based team. That is why he tweets about Detroit sports. It doesn't mean he's coming here or wants to come here simply because he's tweeting about the Red Wings, Tigers, or Pistons. It's wild that we just keep running over there to his Twitter telling him to come home. Yes, we all want him in Detroit. But just because he tweets, it's good to see the Pistons doing well again. Guess what? The Pistons haven't won a playoff game in 17 years. The Pistons, for the past 15 years, have been abysmal. They haven't been in positions for most of that time to entertain winning a playoff game, not a series, a game, because they weren't going to the playoffs. Last year, the Pistons had the worst record in team history and in the entire NBA. They won 14 games. So now that they're balling, now that they're 2 games out of the 5th seed or whatever have you, now that they've exceeded their expectations and we're not even at the All-Star break, now people are saying things like, hey, it's great to see the Pistons being good again. Because the Pistons, great team, back-to-back champions at one point. Most of us have seen them win 3 championships. Okay, now if you're under 30, you didn't. Okay? I saw it. So what are we doing when every time he tweets? Like, and why did I bring this up? Jay Cruisin says it's like a stretching a tip from a balloon sound. What? So why did I bring this up? I'm going to tell you why I brought this up. Because I follow an aggregated news site, which it compiles all of the Detroit Lions news or Pistons or whatever team that you want to follow. So obviously I follow the Detroit Lions, and in the Detroit Lions news today, I saw an article. Okay. And it's grasping at straws. It says former Detroit Lions coach very close to Raiders Maxx Crosby. Do y'all want to guess who this coach was? This former coach. I just want y'all in the chat. Just go ahead and guess about this former coach. All right. If y'all don't have the answer, I'll give you the answer. From the article, no, fortunately, it wasn't Fatty Matty Patty. Newt Rockney, what are we doing? All right. This is an article from the doc, John Macaroon, Detroit Lions on SI. Hassett 42, Anthony Lynn, or Aubrey Present is much too current. It's much too current. All right. I'll give you guys the answer. Former Detroit Lions head coach Rod Marinelli remains close to star Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Maxx Crosby. What up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P here. Listen, if you want to continue keeping your Lions news pragmatic, if you want to keep getting the stats and not none of that static, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share and let everybody know what's going on around here. And turn on your notifications, because how else would you know that we're up in here keeping your Lions news pragmatic? Appreciate you once again, and we are out. Peace.